Somebody might have to show me how to do it. You might have to turn this on. No, so we work it again. You gonna work? Ain't too much technology for me. I've been listening to you guys. Okay, we'll call this meeting to order at 7:05. Appreciate everybody getting this thing set up for us. We'll ask Dirk if he'll give the opening prayer again. Sorry, Dirk.
Our eternal Father in heaven, we are thankful for all the blessings that we have. We're grateful for our lives. We're grateful to live where we live. We ask for thy Spirit to be here with us tonight, to guide us, to make the proper decisions, to benefit the town of Fredonia. And we also pray for the United States of America, for thy Spirit to be upon the face of this land, to maintain our liberties and freedoms. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Following pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So that's the only way I can get even with Dirk is call on him to say the prayer every time. Anyway, I appreciate that. So we got some payment registers that we need to approve. Does anybody have a chance to look at them? You want to look at them for a minute?
Oh, I thought that was a blank page.
There's not a lot on there, but there's quite a bit for a week, I guess.
I have one on here. Interpreting services. What's that for? I've done a check before, I don't know what that do.
Can you explain that, Dirk, Rooney, what that is?
Comes from the courts.
Okay, so whenever somebody comes in there, they gotta have an interpreter like Spanish or whatever.
And you'll see about four more on next week's check run.
Okay,
I'm looking, but I'm not finding.
Who speaks Japanese around here?
I don't think I've got one.
this is it. Little one.
Oh. I wasn't paying attention when you asked the question. What is that?
Interpretive services for the court.
Oh.
So if somebody comes in that can't speak English, then
Okay, okay. I thought that $6,000 was LR investigations, it's only $55, okay. All right.
you want to make a motion on that?
Yeah, I'll on that.
We have a second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
So I'll make the motion on approving the agenda. That would be the April 26th, wouldn't it?
Mhm.
23,
Yep.
24?
Thank you. We have a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We'll get this stuff figured out one of these days. That should have all been together. And we'll move into the action items. The first one is that Kairos Healthcare that we talked about last meeting. We're late enough in the deal that I think we're gonna kinda have to run with what we have. Marilyn looked at it quite close, and there's been 2 or 3 other people that have looked at it. And I think a lot of it goes towards the deductible. There's really not a lot of benefit with a lot of it, and I think next year we need to put this thing out to bid. See if we can get a little better deal on it. I think this is kind of expensive. Everything's expensive now, but it'd be nice to look at some other companies and see what they've got to offer. So I guess we need to make a motion to go with what we had, or if there's some discussion on what we want to add.
So if you go all the way over to the right side of that column, the last 2 columns down at the bottom, so it's the 488, 886, 863, or 1462, is what it would be if we continue to have them pay it out of their own pocket, the extra 150 or whatever it was. But that last column, the 488 doesn't change because it's just an individual, so they don't have to pay nothing out of their pocket. The 976 is the employee and spouse is 976. The 951 is an employee and children, and the 1612 is an employee, a spouse, and the children. But I would rather go back to where we pay that last column instead of making them pay the extra, whatever the $150 was out of their own pockets. I know we're slowly trying to keep their wages and stuff up, but things have gone up so much that just adding that to their monthly check makes a difference. But I would rather see us do that instead of the column just ahead of it where they still have to pay that out of their pocket.
Okay, I'm in agreement with you on that. How do you guys feel?
Yeah, I'm also, I think we need to, excuse me, kind of look for the benefits of the employees. I think we need to take that over, make it where it's a better benefit package for them. I'm in total agreement with you.
And I do have one question. There was a question come up, is it a HMO or a PPO? And what'd you come up with?
It's basically a PPO unless the employee wants to upgrade, I believe. Is that what you know, Jamie?
I don't know, I haven't looked into this
Yeah.
at all.
You know, she did not explain that to me. She just kept saying it was the, upgraded plan that the employee wanted to pay for.
So if our employees need a surgical procedure, can they go to Kanab or St. George? or-
Yes,
Okay,
yes, she did say it's a PPO,
okay,
yes.
okay. Well, I make a motion that we go with Kairos this one more year, and that we approve the package that's in that last column.
Okay,
And I don't even know what to call it, the package in the last column. And that is 488 individual benefits, 976 employee and spouse, 951 employee and children, or 1612 for all of them.
okay. Do we have a second on that?
I'll say,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, there was a little bit of concern about the 2 payments, and I think it's just been divided in half, and that's why there's 2 payments too,
Oh,
so,
That's for the HSA, right?
yeah.
For pay period.
This item number 3, or Item number 2, discussion of possible action regarding city council correction. I guess there was some question as to whether it was a public vote on our council member that we chose. So we just need to clear that up and make that official, that we did choose Cecil as a council member, and we need to make a motion to do that.
One thing that they were complaining is they did, there were 4 people. There was Ty Bundy, Jacob Clough, Cecil Scott, and Dan Watson. All of those guys had turned in pages, just to be aware of that. And, we've already been going on six weeks on this, so I think we just need to, I make a motion that we appoint Cecil Scott to fill the empty council seat that was vacated when Don Johnson became the mayor.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, item number 3, discussion of possible action regarding the council to fill by appointment the unexpired term vacancy of the vice mayor. Somebody have some input on this? I would like to have Cecil do that, where he has a little extra time to spend in the office here. He's able to help fill some big shoes here, so I would like to make a motion that we put him in as vice mayor.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, Cecil. You can come up here. You're probably legal to be up here all night, but this is official now.
Not that skinny, there you go.
And then, and we probably need to make sure we get this in the next agenda to get both of you sworn in.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that was my fault today. I should have had that in the agenda today and had that set up to do tonight. I was a little fouled up by the way it was done last time. I'm not real sure it was done right last time, so. Number 4, discussion of possible action regarding a request from Grist, which is a news outfit, for interview regarding the resolution number 2023-007 declaring town of Fredonia is in opposition to the creation of the proposed Grand Canyon National Monument. And, I had to put this on the agenda because I think we want to get us kind of a mission statement. We actually have one, or had one, yeah. And I think we want to have our ducks in a row. I think we definitely want to have that interview and put our ideas out there. But I'd like to make sure we're getting it all on 100%. So Jamie will contact them and we will set that up in the next couple weeks. But we ought to have some discussion on what we want to present to them when they're here to interview us.
So they want to interview the council.
Yeah, or some, yeah,
Well, they
somebody,
just
a
said
spokesman.
someone.
Well, it needs to be
So-
somebody that's got dirt under their fingernails and cow crap on their boots. I'm not saying it has to be me.
Well, that includes about everybody here, don't it?
I think so.
The resolution that we made actually was very well written. If, I don't know, because, okay, that cover letter says, I saw that the town of Fredonia passed a resolution that challenged President Biden's move. I was hoping to get an interview with someone in your office about how this federal move affects the town of Fredonia and what will happen if the national monument continues to exist. And the resolution spells out pretty straight some of the concerns, but so the other deal is, it's kinda like the camel in the tent thing. He gets his head in, his body's in, he kicks you out. But a lot of this is, and the NRCS, it's probably been 10 years ago, they did a study on this, and at that time, just the cattle industry alone was an $18 million industry on the strip.
Yeah.
That doesn't count any of the logging or anything else. And there's also been studies, and we can get that, like in 1918, the amount of trees that was on the Kaibab, it was really sparse. And since they started logging and managing it, there's more trees and more meadow and more wildlife habitat today than there was, but it's going away from when they quit, from when Kaibab. But I mean, something as simple as whether it's restaurants or gas stations, or the guy that goes and buys trailer tires every time he goes to Trumbull, or there's a lot. And that is just the cattle industry, not counting energy fuels, not counting the logging, like anyway. And I'm kind of closely associated with someone that has a lot of that information. I can get it.
Okay. Yeah, I think, let's get it gathered up and get ahead of this thing. When we talk to him, let's put it pretty straight.
I was just gonna say, the other day, I talked to someone and they said, well, why don't we also, because it is a legal suit, that we need to probably include an attorney or whoever it is that's handling that for us. In other words, so we don't say something that's going to step on the objection.
That's probably a good idea.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm split. There's a lot of lawyers don't know their butt from a hole in the ground.
Well, yeah, that's
And
for
they're,
sure.
and we're involved with some lawyers that we don't want them talking, because they don't know what, and we could check with that, but right now, this resolution,
I think it was really well written.
this doesn't really have anything to do with a lawsuit. This just has to do with the stance that the town of Fredonia took on it. And like last week, there was no motion made, but it was brought to our attention that the the Federal Department of Justice is trying to combine both of those
Yeah.
lawsuits. So, no, I agree, we shouldn't, I don't, if they wanna interview the town council, I think, I don't need some lawyer to speak for me.
Yeah.
And I promise not to swear or say, stupid things, but, I think if they wanna know how it's gonna affect our town, and they need to know how it has affected our town.
Oh, yeah,
and
just
how
the
it's
other
going.
monuments have almost killed us.
Well, it's even the management plan, and people aren't aware of that. But the new management plan that they put in, one of the options is no option.
Yeah.
You cannot retire a Forest Service allotment, you cannot retire a BLM allotment, but under the new plan, you can.
Makes it available.
It's called a conservation.
That's exactly what they're wanting. That's why they're doing it.
And so, well, anyway, I won't go off on my rant. But I think if you just read this, and if we got a hold of that NRCS study that was done, it gives some, and it's 10 years old, but the numbers are still.
Viable.
Yeah, like if you look at the second page is the beginning of the resolution. If you look at the third one, I mean, okay, like down in the middle, it says, whereas an animal unit month is the metric used to determine the number of livestock that can be grazed on federal grazing allotments, each AUM equals the amount of forage necessary to sustain a 1,000-pound mother cow and her calf. And then it goes on down, generates approximately $100 in economic activity, stimulating economic I mean, all the numbers are right in here, so, and it even talks about how many cows are out there, and you can, all you need's a calculator, how many hundreds of dollars that it brings into the local, communities. And I won't even go in, then or now, I won't go into conspiracy theories, but, UN Agenda 21 is real, UN Agenda 2030 is real, UN Agenda 2050 is real, and and all it is Chicken Little and an acorn. And it's about control, and you know what, you got something here in your lifestyle that they can't get, and that's what this is about. I'll shut up.
I agree.
Well said.
Well,
Mr. Ballard?
I was the one that got handed the request, and so I can contact them and reinforce. Did you read the resolution? In other words, all the numbers and everything are there so that we don't have to, hopefully, have a formal interview or anything like that. In other words, try and keep from getting that gotcha question.
But, you know what? If you walk up to home plate, you might strike out.
That's right.
You might strike out.
That's why I say,
But if
gotta
you
be
don't,
careful.
but if you walk up to home plate, you might hit a home run.
That's right.
And the interviews that they've had with Chris Heaton have gone national. They've
Oh.
gone viral.
Okay.
And if this is, not that anybody needs or wants their face on the stupid TV, but this, instead of being something that we're afraid of, this could be a positive thing.
Okay.
I think we need to be really active on it, not hang back on it. We need to let everybody know how we feel.
I agree, Don.
I think we're too passive a lot of times
Okay.
on this stuff.
That's the way we'll approach it then.
And that's how they get things passed too.
And
Oh, yeah.
we've got a guy right here that was in lumber and mining. We've got somebody here in ranching. You've been involved in both. You've been out there with the mines, working on all that. It should, and there's things that never get brought up. The uranium this is the highest, cleanest uranium content they've got out here. We have, within 50 miles of us right here on a monument, is some of the cleanest burning coal in the world. And they've completely, and there's enough coal right out there to supply the needs of America for 250 years. And that's not just somebody saying it, that's a fact. At a time that they're tearing down infrastructure. I said I wouldn't talk, sorry.
Yeah, they come in and take pictures of that monument, and it's all not even on the monument that they made. It's on pre-existing monuments or somewhere else, and they put a lot of false ideas out there, and I think we need to rein them in a little bit.
You know, I'll tell you another thing. In 1980, if you broke down in House Rock Valley, you better have a horse in the truck, or you better be
Oh,
able
yeah,
to
because there
walk.
was no service of any kind down in there.
If you break down there today, in 10 minutes, and you're still gonna walk because they're gonna drive by you going 100 miles an hour. But out here on the monument, there's turkeys, there's buffalo, there's all that stuff, and there's dinosaurs that they've dug up, and it was pristine. And then the government got involved and made a monument to try to protect it, and guess what? It got overrun. Right up here where we run cows, there's dinosaur tracks in the rocks. Nobody used to go there till the BLM, till they started making monuments, and now it's completely overrun. So if you wanna ruin it, let's advertise it and make it a monument.
Yeah, because then they advertise it and get it out there.
You-
Okay, I will contact them and make arrangements and see if we can't do something positive for it then.
And you know what? Any of you guys know all the issues too. I'm not saying, but I think.
Oh, I know, but
It happens.
just like with Chris, you've gotta show some passion. I don't know how else to say it, you know, I mean, enthusiasm, passion, whatever, people have gotta be able to see that it's affecting our life, not just our life, but our way of life. And for hundreds of people, and those people back east that wanna eat grass-fed beefsteak, guess where it comes from?
UN Agenda
And they're
2030.
trying to shut us down.
UN
So-
Agenda 2030, they want 30% of the land mass of America under government control by 2030. UN Agenda 2050, they want 50%.
You
And
will
the-
own nothing and be happy.
What's that?
You will own nothing and be happy.
And eat Z-bugs.
Okay,
Yeah.
noted.
So we'd probably all like a part of that.
Okay, I'll set it up that way then.
Okay. I think that's everything on the agenda. We'll
Okay.
adjourn at 7:30. Appreciate it, guys.
Thanks for doing it.
Thank you.